Well, good morning, everybody. Happy
Morning.
Wednesday. Joe, how's it going for you today, brother?
It's going good. Matter of fact, I need to put on my hat.
There we go.
There
That's
we go.
right.
I love it.
I brought it today because I knew you were gonna. So
Yes, and I got a cheers for you too. You got a cheers?
I'm about that. Cheers.
Cheers.
Got to get my coffee. Again, come on Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. You guys know the drill. It ain't gonna be coffee, but for today, coffee. It might be 5 o'clock somewhere, just not here. Just oh boy, it's gonna be one of those days.
I did not used to drink coffee, and then I worked at an office where all the people would go to the back and drink some coffee, and they said, "Joe, you want coffee?" And it's like, "Sure, why not?" And they poured it's called Kahlua.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Well, what's Kahlua?" And they're like, "Joe, just try it." Well, since then, I started drinking coffee with them. I do like the Kahlua.
Yep. Amen. I hear that. I'm sure we got people in the chat who'll be going, hey, that's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the chat, I can see Piper Academy's dumping on in here. Thank you, Army Piper, for directing everybody over here. We are going to kick things off. We're going to be talking, obviously, some Bitcoin news, just some kind of fun facts to kind of start it off. Joe's going to look at the chart. We got some SEC news, and then we're going to listen to like a 3-minute long video from Pete St. Onge. I like listening to him. He always kind of great information. And where I got the middle piece of this title here, 43% of Americans plan to work until they croak, basically. Yeah, you're looking at them. Part of that 43%. So, but anyway, we're going to get to that. And as a bonus, I think that Joe's going to be looking at the gold chart at the end there. So stick around for that because gold is tickling those all-time highs for a while now, quite frankly. But there we go. All right, let's go say hi to the chat. Give the chat a quick shout out if I can get my mouse to actually work here. Dylan in the house. Appreciate Dylan. Appreciate you being here as always. Tech man, there he is. And BC Port Corp. We've been talking on Discord there. I'm excited to see what he's got coming. So looking forward to that. Thank you, BC, for being here. Jesse, I don't know. I must be just missing you everywhere, Jesse. I'm glad to see you here. If you're a channel member, Uncle Jesse emojis in the chat. Appreciate that. See, BC knows. Old man, interweb. Yeah, that's this guy. And Army Piper in the house. Appreciate you being here, sir. As always, great show. As always, super informative. So if you don't know, you better go find out. If you're watching this on the replay, link to Piper Academy in the description. Listen, $5 a month, access to his Discord, access to the Piper plan. You need it. That's all I'm saying. No kickbacks here for that. It's just good. I'll say it's advice even. How about that? Good advice. Yeah, Dylan's in the house. Let's see. Who am I missing? Dave Digital with the magnets. There it is. It is. Dave Digital in the house. I love Dave Digital. Again, if you're not watching him on Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern time, man, you are missing out. Simple Terms Podcast. Awesome stuff. Go and check that out. Oh, here we go. All the magnets are starting to flood the chat. We got some graduation caps. JR dropping those graduation caps. Let's keep giving the shout outs here real quick. Oh boy. And a flood of magnets. I love it. We got a great community, Joe, man. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Yes, BC. I love me some gold as well. Hey, Crypto Billy in the house. Appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. As always, hey, Piper, facts. Those are just the facts, man. Those are just the facts. All right, that's it. And yes, thank you. See, Jesse's all over it, giving you that link to Piper Academy. So you don't even have to go into the description. You can catch it right there in the live chat. Okay, I should probably kick things off. Sitting here, you know what? I don't care. I love giving the shout out to everybody. Thanks for all the activity in the chat. But we're going to start out with a little bit of Bitcoin stuff here before Joe gets into the Bitcoin chart. Now, this isn't so much news, but as he listed here, kind of fun fact, league champion. So for those who, I know football, if you're outside of the US, but soccer, for those of us Americans, Paris Saint-Germain now holding Bitcoin, one of the largest clubs in the world. Now, I'm all about that. But they're not new to this whole crypto thing. And I'm going to just transition over right here to an article that I wrote. It's still on my website. Matter of fact, excuse me, I just updated it yesterday when Lionel Messi, I'm sure I just butchered that name, so sorry about that. Basically joined the team back in 2021. They gave him some of their fan coins. You know, PSG has kind of been into this whole crypto thing for a while now. Link is in the description to everything I'm talking about. And if you want to go back and check this article out, I mean, he's outside of the contract. It was like a 3-year or 2-year contract with an extension for a third. And he got like a bunch, like somewhere around $29 million of these fan tokens.
Wow.
Again, yeah, it's insane. They have been in and about the crypto space, this particular soccer club here, PSG, been in and around this whole crypto thing for a while now, which is why I want to take a little bit of time to talk about this. So there's that. And one other thing. Now, for those who are in the crypto space, to me, these guys, even though I think PSG may, and don't hold me to this, have gotten into this a little ahead of them. If you already know the What Bitcoin Did podcast, now Peter McCormack is not the actual host of that anymore, but he's the one that made it popular, kind of brought it to the forefront. Great podcast if you are anything surrounding Bitcoin. Here's his team. This is the Bitcoin soccer team. So links again in the description with regard to this. So go ahead and check that out, and you know, give him a little bit of follow, help the boy out. Spread it. Not that I think he needs it. He's got a bigger audience than I do. So what the hell am I saying, right? But I've got one more piece of Bitcoin news to just kind of throw at you, and then we'll let Joe get into the charts. $200 billion of the Texas State Teachers Retirement Fund is, okay. Let me rephrase that. The Texas Teachers Retirement Fund, which has $200 billion in it, is holding $25 million worth of Bitcoin via, obviously, strategy, because they have limited options to what they can do and still be legal and all that kind of stuff. Automatic Beats, I see you just jumping in. Welcome, sir. Yes, listen in, brother. Get in the gym. I love it. So there you go. These companies understand and retirement funds and so on and so forth. And we hear it all the time. We say it all the time. God, it's so early. The people are coming in. The money's going to be coming in. Yeah. Hold on to your seats there, ladies and gentlemen. All right. You ready, Joe? We're going to let you take the charts. All right. Everybody, let's give Joe a listen here as he talks about Bitcoin.
All right. So Bitcoin yesterday, price was here, and this is our point of control. And yesterday, normally I like giving, plan A, plan B, up or down, which way I think it might go. Yesterday, I even put a question mark. It's like, I really don't know. I would think that, and the reason I don't know is because we have that extra variable. And the variable is what's going on today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard and then at 2:30.
Right.
Which, of course, rate cuts. Are we going to get it? If so, is it going to be what's pretty much already priced in, which is 25 basis points? Or is it going to be more or nothing? Or even if it is 25 basis points, Powell could start talking hawkish to where he needs more data and everything else, and then it just dumps. So again, and I kind of mentioned this yesterday, and I said it again today to my group anyway. Very careful trading today, because it could go one way and then just flip. So yesterday, well, I thought it was going to come down because, again, PLC and everything else, and plus resistance here. What did it do? Straight up. So sometimes I am on point on this. It's incredible. It amazes me. And sometimes I'm way off. And here, completely off. Instead, it literally did the inverse of what I thought. It went up, went to our level. Now, this is an important level that we're referring to, 116,632. Price needs to break above this level and maintain above it. So if we just kind of zoom out, we can kind of see, well, we are in our bullish zone. The bullish zone is between these two orange trend lines. And anything in here is bullish. However, we cannot just say, oh, we're bullish because we're in this. There's always rules. So right now we were underneath our resistance level. And all this has to do with market structure. But instead of boring you with all the market structure talk, I just basically say it needs to break this level. This is the high. It needs to break it, maintain above it. If it does, then we're bullish. What happened? We broke above it. We broke below it. We tried to come up. We broke below it again, try to come up. We can't, right now we are unable to hold this as support. So when that happened, of course, came down. Now, when we were here, I updated my group, my VIP group, and I said, since we're here, it's looking like it possibly wants to come down. And what we're looking for now would be the breaks of either the pivots to the top or the bottom. And so I kind of give like two different scenarios. Here we came down, we came up. Great, we broke this. However, we did not gain support. So because of that, now the thought is invalid. And that's really important too. And I go more over this in my channel. I go live every day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, Saturday and Sunday at 4. But we needed to find support here. If we don't, well, then our thought process is invalid, especially if we break this. Sure enough, we broke it, looking really weak. Here, I'm kind of drawing this out. Again, this was done, when it was right here. I'm thinking that we could come down here to our trend line, which is very strong, and potentially, now I got these trend lines from the first cycle to the second cycle. Wick to wick, candle body to candle body. That's how I got these levels. And we could come down here and possibly find support. We don't know. And if we do, then we need to break this pivot to start going up to break this level to now. Before it was this level for us to be bullish. And this is why it's literally level by level. Now it's this level, 117,234, because now this is the highest point. So this actually creates a range where there could be, there is selling pressure to where if we come in here, there's a good chance we're going to come down, hopefully before we get steam to go up. But again, this is what I'm looking at right now. I really wouldn't be in a trade just because we don't know what's going to happen in a few hours. Could you scalp this? Yes, of course, sure. Just put in a lower time frame, get in and out. But for me right now, it's too risky. So that's my thought process right now. Potentially, we get a bounce to about the 50% mark of this, which would be about right here. And then we just see if, we retrace, which is good. And then if we fight above it, then chance of it coming up here to break above this. But right now, I would just wait. And because of this, and we'll talk about it more towards the end of the show, but gold is just skyrocketing. So
yep.
That's all I got on this.
No, that's facts. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you. And again, we're going straight over to Joe's stream right after we're done here today. So all you got to do if you're on YouTube is hang on. we're gonna just send you right on over there. And I gonna give a couple of quick shout outs to the chat because we had a couple of people jump in and I highlighted a couple of comments. Sunny in the house, appreciate you being here. Watch this coming Sunday after Billy Goat Tales, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be Sonny and I are going to be talking about the blockchain. I'm putting the final touches on editing that video now, so make sure that you are around for that. And yes, you know what, Billy hits a good point here. For those who might have missed it, if you just kind of jumped in, I was saying, talking about Peter McCormack and what Bitcoin did, and saying, well, he's got a bigger audience than me. What, what is it with me saying anything? But you know what, Crypto Billy makes a good point here. It's the content and the people. Facts, man, facts. And we got a great community here. There's just no doubt about that. No doubt about that. And listen, Jerome Powell is in the house. There you go. I appreciate that. And I love the fact right here, he's checking out the info so he can decide what's going on today. I think that is, that's
so my question awesome. To Jerome Powell is, do you need more data? That's all I got. Do you need more data? That's it.
Right. And BC, there you go. A little bit of gold long going on. Yeah, I'll tell you what, gold is, man, and it's only going to keep going. It just is. And we're going to talk more about that toward the end, obviously. And Joe's going to look at that chart. So again, stick around for that. But in the meantime, we're going to go talk about a few things going on with the SEC, a couple of other things with regard to here we go. We all have good AI that we got the data mining going on. There you go. I love it. I love it. There you go, Joe. So the answer is he doesn't need any more data. So we'll see if there's a change by the time they go live this afternoon for their interview. All right, let's move on. Let's move this puppy on. All right. So recently, you had South Korea lift a 7-year ban on crypto. Now, if you remember, it's talking about their 7-year ban, but I mean, that was what was going on back in the space in that whole time frame. China banning Bitcoin mining and this country saying no to that. Heck, we were talking about Thailand on Monday, and we showed you they were banning NFTs, they were banning meme coins, all this other kind of stuff. And now look at them. They putting their bonds on the blockchain, and the next thing you know, who knows, right? Although the news for that particular day was they locked 3 million users out of their bank accounts. But that go watch that stream. Yeah, we'll catch you up on that. And as a matter of fact, we talked in a bit more depth about that on Hot of the Line, BC, Bedell, and we had special guest Joel Valenzuela. So if you didn't watch that, go check that out. But let's move on to this. Santander. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I don't know. It's close enough for government work, as they say. Right? Has launched retail client trading for crypto. That's kind of big news. Especially these banks are, they're working on, getting all the stable coins in there. They've been building the rails for all this stuff for years, despite, Jamie Dimon being out there basically spewing venom at the space and so on and so forth, even as late as last year when he was testifying before Congress and for Elizabeth Warren, that kind of thing. So but these big banks have been doing the building for years, and now what they've been doing is coming to fruition. And in another example right here, they highlight here UBS Bank. But they were not the only ones. There was a few other Swiss banks that just completed their first legally binding Ethereum-based payments. Oh my goodness, there goes my voice. I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me. I mean, that's huge. I mean, yeah, okay, it's on ETH, but listen, we know ETH is going to be that rail. ETH is got a lot of backing with regard to the TradFi system, etc. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of that going on. Sonny's saying Santander closed my account in the UK a few years ago for crypto activity. Now look at them, the dirty rats. Yeah, exactly, right? That's what I'm saying. And how many times we've talked about it, I think even you and I, Joe, and in these shows, and people have said in the chat, we're talking about this bank or that bank or whatever, and people are still getting like credit card transactions, their bank accounts frozen. I mean, Chase has been a big one with that. So I'm sorry to hear that, Sonny, but I get it. It's definitely going on. And Dutchy is in the house. Mark, appreciate you being here as always. Yes, dirty rats. It reminds me of that. Oh my God, that old TV show. Somebody help me in the chat there. Oh, you dirty rat. You know what I mean? I can't.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I see the scene.
Let us know in the chat, guys. Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, please help a boy out here, because as old as I am, that could be the problem right there. As old as I am, and all set in the house. Appreciate you being here as always.
I saw that.
All right, Jerome Powell, get a good nap. I expect a good speech in a few hours. And was it Dirty Harry? Oh, no, I love Dirty Harry. I'll tell you what.
Nuh-uh. It was more like a
I'm thinking it was older. No, it was older than Italian. That. For some reason, I'm seeing it in my head in black and white.
Yes.
So yeah. No. Although I love Taxi.
Not Taxi.
And you know what? What's his name there? The short guy. He might have said that at some point. But yeah. All right, we're getting off track. Not that takes much here in these streams. Some days. Oh my goodness. All right, to keep going with the whole payments and banks thing. Now I get it. Google, not a bank, but Google is like super entrenched in all this kind of stuff. And you know, the operating systems on your phones, the search, blah blah, YouTube, blah blah blah. Anyway, so here we are. They basically partnered with Coinbase and the Ethereum Foundation for open sourced AI payments protocol. So they basically, you can use credit cards and stable coins built. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This, in my opinion, can open up so many different avenues. I mean, again, Google is they've got their fingers in a lot of the pies going on. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But they're not alone, and they're not the only ones with their fingers in a lot of the pies. PayPal. We talk about PayPal all the time. And listen, you guys know, we were talking just a little bit ago about South Korea lifting their 7-year ban. Well, PayPal, they used to like boot people all the time because guess what? They were no fans of crypto when crypto first came out. Please. They've only seen the writing on the wall, if you would, with regard to crypto in the last, maybe 3 years, 4 years. And now they're starting to embrace that kind of thing. Heck, even when you could buy crypto back in the day on PayPal, you couldn't even take it off PayPal, as you recall. Anyway, so here you go. They're now integrating Bitcoin and Ethereum into the new peer-to-peer payment system. I think that is big news. A lot of people, I get it. PayPal isn't probably the payment powerhouse it used to be with regard, to peer-to-peer payments. Now it's Cash App, Venmo. It's kind of funny. I one of my cousins has a family business, and she makes like pastries and all this kind of stuff. So I had an event last night, and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing any of that, but let me go get some homemade pastries, right? It makes sense. And yeah, I know, right, man? It was she made this s'mores pie. Oh my God, it was absolutely delicious. Anyway, I'm again getting off track, getting down the rabbit hole. And it's kind of funny because I asked her, okay, how am I going to pay you, that kind of thing. And she's like, well, you can, send me cash, Cash App me or Venmo or whatever. And I was going back and forth with her while I was on the train last week, going back and forth to the Boston Blockchain Week, and I said, listen, I don't use either one of those. I'm like, what about PayPal? Do you use that? Nope. She's too young. You know what I'm saying? She's probably like early 30s or something. She's way too young. And PayPal isn't a thing for her. And I'm like, well, what about crypto? And she said, it's kind of funny. She shot back and said, it's the only thing I don't take. Don't do crypto. And I'm like, well, you and I need to talk because you definitely need to be taking crypto. But anyway, so the point is, PayPal may not be the payment powerhouse that it once was, but integrating Bitcoin and Ethereum P2P on their platform, I don't know, I think that's pretty big deal. Joe, I've been kind of just doing all the talking there, brother. But I mean, how do you feel about that? Feel free to like chime in here. You know the drill. Talk right on there.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. In reference to PayPal, like for me, I don't use it. I don't have it on my phone. Like I'll have it on my computer because I accept payments. Use PayPal or people want to donate.
Yep.
But I really don't use it. Like money goes in there and it just sits. And maybe once a year, once every other year, I'll go and I'll cash it out. But I'm rarely in there.
Yep.
So I don't use it. But now if there's more transactions with crypto, and you can buy crypto with PayPal,
right,
on their site and everything, but I don't use it for that.
Yep. And to Joe's point, I'm the same way. I use PayPal as part of like my business stuff. It's just easy to integrate that into most things. It's readily available to be integrated. And but here's the thing, with regard to taking some of the crypto, you can't do that, or at least last I tried, you're unable to do that via the business account, because the accounts I do have a personal account, but the accounts I have are business accounts. So I tried to do it because, God, how great would that be? Just to have somebody wants to pay me in crypto, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I've already got this integrated into my website or whatever. And then, you could just send it and I can pull it right out of PayPal. But nope. Not allowing me to do that. So again, as much as they're trying to embrace crypto, I'm using my air quotes there, it's still got a long way to go. And I get it, they're still operating to some degree because they're not a bank, although they certainly do try to be like a bank. But anyway, all right, let's move on with some other good positive news. Now we're going to start to get into some regulatory stuff, including SEC. I got a few things right now about the SEC. We're going to get to that video from Pete St. Onge, and then we're going to take a look at gold, and Joe's got that chart queued up, so we're going to be taking a look at that. But right here, SEC approves Bitcoin ETF listings for NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. Now, global adoption, I don't agree with that particular statement, but I do like the fact that, again, readily available in these locations. This is where not all, this is where a lot of money is locked up. This is where people are doing, they're trading these entities that can't, or it's not, or at least with a current level of regulation, easy for them to be going and just holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, some other cryptocurrency. So they need to access it in these ways. So there you go. To me, that's increased adoption, not necessarily. I wouldn't be sitting out there going, oh my God, global adoption. Anyway, Wick's wife is in the house. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. And if I missed anybody else, I'm sorry. I'm trying to pay attention to the chat as we're going here, but it ain't easy, man. It ain't easy. It ain't easy being me. All right. Keeping on with the SEC. Right here. Gemini and the SEC have basically said, okay, enough. You got to remember, a lot of these enforcement actions that are now coming to a resolution, again, using my air quotes, is because we have a much kinder, friendlier administration, thus a much kinder and friendlier SEC. But this whole fandango with Gemini was primarily around their Earn product. So you can stake your crypto on Gemini, you can stake it on Coinbase and these otherwise centralized platforms and earn a yield for doing so. Well, guess what? You've got these whole stable coins earning yield. You go on Coinbase and I may need to grab some stable coins for like whatever I'm going to buy, whatever the case may be, and they're trying to get me to lock it up in their yield product so I can get yield. And I guess if I was going to hold on to that, why not? But like for me, I don't hold stable coins like that. Just me. It's more I get it and I use it for what it is. I do every once in a while hold some. Yeah, exactly. Automatic Beats has got it right here. Yeah, that was all the Biden administration. Exactly. And a la Gary Gensler. And, again, kinder, friendlier administration, kinder, friendlier SEC. Shuby is in the house. If you are a channel member, Shuby Bucket's in the chat. Shuby, appreciate seeing you, brother. Thank you. Love Shuby. He does so much for this channel. I just can't say enough for all his help. So shout out to Shuby. All right. One more piece of SEC news. Now, I saw this and I was thinking to myself, well, heaven forbid, this is how you actually do it, right? So the new SEC chair basically coming out and saying, listen, we're going to notify people of their technical violations before we take enforcement actions against them. Well, I wish I had the sound effect because I'd play it right now. It's like, why would you not? Why would you? Does that not make sense?
It's like knock, knock, surprise.
Yeah. It's like common sense. Heaven forbid. David Brumbelow in the house. Appreciate you being here, sir. But yeah, I mean, come on. Common sense, folks. Common sense. Man, we are clipping right along here, man. We're only a half an hour into the stream, Joe. You may have to start your stream early for crying out loud. Holy cow. Usually we end up down some rabbit hole.
If you noticed, I haven't deviated from the stream, the plan. It's just, or I'll put a little bit, but no deviations. I will say this, though, in reference to You Dirty Rats.
Yes.
I thought it was a different movie altogether, but everything I'm looking up and researching, it says Taxi. And
really,
from the very get-go,
that's not
Taxi.
The one I'm thinking of, though.
That's not what I'm. So what I did was who else have said it? And there's other movies, but those movies don't even. There's Little Caesar back in 1931, Public Enemy, 31, Angels with Dirty Faces, 38. I don't remember any of those movies.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to, because that's gonna bother me.
It's gonna bother me.
Yeah, that's gonna bother me. Oh man, what? And then you keep. Yes, you're right, Shuby. I do say that. But guess what? This next piece, the video itself is about 3 minutes long, and in that 3 minutes, he packs so much crap into that 3 minutes. If you're not following Pete St. Ange, you really should. Again, links to everything is in the description. I'm going to play the video, and I don't know. I listened to this video, and if I had that blood pressure meter to be putting on this, yeah, exactly, on this screen. Well, because you know what? I relate. Here's a guy, old guy, interwebs, right? Like BC mentioned earlier. And I feel like I'm going to work until I drop. It's just the way it is. I mention all the time, even yesterday on Princess's stream, and shout out to Crypto Princess for having me on and Joe on and BC. Yeah, that was actually, I thought it was a great stream. I messaged her later and said, man, that was fun. That really was. And anyway, I even said it yesterday where, listen, my grandkids are going to benefit from this. Me, not so much. I feel like Joel Valenzuela, he was saying that he's like, I've been in this space for like over 10 years. You think I'd be like, he's like, but I use it I actually use the crypto. So, and that's kind of the tact I've been taking. Well, besides of what I lost way back in the day, but that's a whole nother story for another stream there. Anyway, so when this next video from Pete St. Onge came on, it was kind of speaking to me, as you can see here, where he puts 43% of Americans expect to work until they die. That's double what it used to be. And half of Americans say it's not realistic to expect a comfortable retirement. What the hell happened to the American dream? It's dead, literally. I mean, or at least it seems to be that way.
You do get to the retirement age, you get the retirement checks, but that $600 or $800 or whatever it is, it's the cost of living is going to be so much higher that literally your dollar is going down. And that's why we have to keep on working, unless, we've done investments prior and we're cashing out on those. If not, like it's harder and harder to invest because everything now is costing more and more versus 10 years ago.
Yep.
20 years.
And again, shout out to Army Piper, because he just in his stream that most of you guys came from, he was saying that own assets. And yes, exactly, Dave Digital. And I want a quick shout out to Kevin Hawthorne. Kevin, always kind of coming in on these streams. Appreciate you chiming in from down in Florida. Okay, let's let Pete, again, link to him. Go follow him. Let's let Pete do his 3-minute thing, and then Joe, hopefully you don't need your blood pressure meds afterward, and we can unpack all this.
43% of Americans expect to work until they die, double what it used to be. Meanwhile, half of Americans say it is, quote, not realistic to expect a comfortable retirement. This comes from a recent survey by consumer finance company Wallet Hub, with similar numbers from a May survey by State Street. The driving it, of course, is stagnant wages, soaring prices, especially housing and medical bills, and above all, soaring debt that Americans are using to bridge the gap. Starting with wages, while deportations are finally growing blue-collar wages, real household income has been down since 2019, the first time that's happened since the 2008 crisis. In fact, it's never happened outside of recession, which we allegedly did not have under Joe Biden. Meanwhile, even though inflation has moderated under Trump...
Of course you didn't, because, they changed the definition of what a recession is. Again, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that, but it's so true. That whole situation just pissed me off. But again, here goes my blood pressure.
Still a massive cliff from post-COVID inflation, when prices rose 25% by official numbers, maybe 40% unofficial. The problem with big inflation jumps is people initially respond by going deeper into debt to maintain their previous lifestyle.
Right.
Now, 5 years later, that is catching up, with Americans taking on additional $4 trillion in debt, hitting $20 trillion in household debt. That includes $1.2 trillion in credit card debt that carries 24% interest, slightly lower than the mafia. That's not even getting into housing, where the combination of a 40% jump in home prices, a doubling of mortgage rates, and soaring insurance and property tax means the median mortgage payment is now $2,300 a month.
Yep.
Before the pandemic, it was $1,200. Add the debt, and the interest and incomes don't buy close to what they did before COVID. For anybody below middle class, it is hand to mouth. A recent Fed survey found almost 40% of Americans cannot cover a $400 emergency. So
now, remember, the standard line was $1,000 for an emergency, right? And here you go, he's talking $400. Most Americans can't even handle that. And it's so true.
How are Americans making ends meet? Easy. They are raiding retirement savings. Right. According to the BEA, the national savings rate is now 4.4%. Before COVID, it was 7.5% to 8%. The 1980s, it was 11%. Meanwhile, according to Vanguard, the average 401k balance is just $38,000, which will get you through about a year and a half of retirement. Then the last man standing, children. Children are the traditional retirement account. You have a bunch of kids, raise them right, they pitch in to take care of you. When you're old, Of course, that no longer happens, with the fertility rate plunging post-COVID to just 1.59 children per woman. Given 30-somethings are still eating ramen with their roommates, that's not remotely enough to carry elderly parents. So what's next? Brought to you by I Trust Capital.
All right, you get the point of all of that. I mean, the sad part is, I mean, he's spewing stats that are just like right out there. They're complete accuracy. Let me pull him off the screen here, Joe, so you and I can kind of hash this out along with everybody else. K Diggity in the house. Appreciate you being here, K Diggity. And BC, here we go. Going to drop some knowledge on us as always right here. Keynesian, say that 5 times fast. Keynesian economics is won by devaluing your nation's dollar more than other countries. So that debt you pay off is actually worth less than what you borrowed. It is broken. Yes, 1,000%. This entire system is broken. I know a couple with no kids and both work and still have to live with one of their parents. Yes, rent is outrageous. And this is part of what we were talking about yesterday, right, Joe, on Crypto Princess's live stream. And quite frankly, it was maybe an hour or so after I got off that live stream that I came across this, which might have been why my blood pressure was kind of already up there, and that just kind of like put it right back. But Joe, chime in, man. What do you got to say? I mean, I know he threw out a lot of stuff, but pick apart what you like.
In reference to the rent, let me just catch up on that. In reference to the rent, of course, those of you know, I recently had to move, and the first thing I'm doing is looking places to rent.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, I'm thinking, does this come with a back massage and so a portfolio with gold? Like, what am I paying for? And it's literally just a roof over your head, door you can close. It's crazy. And once again, you know, the dollar is just coming down. It's coming down. So I put in the chat, you know, Google Trends help with mortgage is extremely high right now. It's the same level as it was in 2008, and we all know what happened there. You know, it wrecked a lot of people. And this is, you know, I wonder if they're going to move the definition again of recession.
Oh, of course they will.
I really do. Because I know that once, you know, it's official that we're in a recession, everybody's going to freak out.
Right. Right. Of course, that word, you know, even for the younger generations that may not have actually officially lived through a recession. Well, guess what? You're starting to feel it. You just don't know what it is, right? You know, at this point.
Here's another thing. So you know how all these young, I don't even know what they're called, all these young kids. I used to see it on YouTube Shorts where they're crying because they're a barista or whatever they're called at Starbucks, and I had to work 6 hours and I had a 15-minute break and or a 30-minute break or whatever it is, and they're crying. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? Try 10 hours, try 12 hours, try manual labor, try working out in the fields, try working out in the streets.
And you're lucky to get lunch.
But try being a construction worker, doing like manual labor. It's like, get out of here. Like, it's just crazy how they're complaining and everything. But those same people, here's my point. If we do get really bad, we start having to lay off jobs because whatever. Now, what are they going to do? They're not going to go out and go and sweat. You know, they're complaining about working 6 hours. So
Yep. Yeah, no, it's true. The work ethic, and I know we're painting that entire generation with a wide brush, as you were, and that's not the way to go with anything, because my oldest son, who's part of that generation, man, he busts his butt. He works construction. It doesn't matter if it's an 8-hour day, which is rare, by the way, or a 15-hour day. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's even with whole union thing. But and then look at somebody like BC. I'm sorry, BC just talk about BC, talk about him and he will appear. And here's his latest comment right here. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what they are. Yeah, I work 12 and a half hours a day with 30 minutes lunch break. Yeah, that's soft baby. Yeah, exactly, BC. And that's why I said I wanted to highlight it. It's obviously not the entire generation, but as a whole, by and far, yeah. And yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Side note, I absolutely hate it. And I don't know why they do it, and it's mainly females, like 99% are females, where they're literally recording themselves crying.
Yep.
Why? I don't care. And they're crying about whatever situation, whether it's their job or their boyfriend or whatever, but they're crying and they're, and trying to get tears coming down, like, and they have thousands, not millions of views. Like, oh my gosh, people really.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody, yeah, it's all about
pet
emotion.
Pet peeve. That's it. You got my.
Yeah. See, you got a different meter going on there, Joe. Yeah. I understand. And Jimmy in the house. Appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you for checking in during the day. I know you're a busy guy. And again, back to the educational series. I know this coming Sunday, it's me and Sonny. Next week, I believe it's going to be me and BC again, but a couple more weeks, it's going to be me and Jim talking about some online safety and security kind of items. So stay tuned for that. Again, all of my educational series videos dropping 7 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays, right after Billy Goat Tales. And Dave put in here, there are a lot of 30 plus year-old kids, using air quotes on kids here, still living at home because they can't afford to move out, even working great jobs with great pay. They just can't make it on their own. Same for the elderly. See, and that's where the elderly, I'm glad you put that in there, Dave. I really am, because that's kind of my end of the spectrum here at this point. And I sit here thinking the same thing, like, man, it's only going to get worse from here. I just, holy cannoli. But anyway, and what's Jimmy Jim saying? Mortgage $3,600 a month, including property taxes, and such, 4,000 square feet. Move to Texas. There you go. It's there you go. I don't know. It's not easy anywhere you go, but there, as BC pointed out in a previous comment, I know I didn't bring it up on the screen, but all depends on the location. I get it. Absolutely. Where BC lives, with the corn out there, it's a lot easier. You live on the left coast or the East Coast, and yes, I said that directly on purpose. Anyway, you obviously are paying a premium in many of those locations, and it used to be, I don't want to say profitable, but better to be in those locations, because why? Because wages were higher. You had the opportunity to maybe be in middle class, stay in middle class, that kind of thing. That's gone. And like I said, Shuby's right. We got down the rabbit hole here at this point with regard to this. I knew it was going to take us there. And there's so much more that Peter St. Ange unpacked in that video. So again, I know we played it all here, but check out all of his videos. Again, link in the description, because it's amazing, the information, and he brings it together in digestible bites. That's maybe shocking bites, but digestible bites. And to me, that whole stat about 43% of Americans basically planning to work until they croak, that's just wrong. It's just wrong.
And it's going to continue to be like that unless the money changes, unless the dollar gets strong. And in my opinion, like, we're doing everything, we're doing stuff to not have the dollar become weak faster, but everything we're doing, it's still resulting in the dollar becoming weak, in my opinion.
No, I You're not wrong, Joe. You're not wrong. I mean, again, part of why I do what I do, like I mentioned even yesterday on Princess's stream, I may not get any benefit out of this, but I'm gonna preach, shout into the wind, whatever, sound money, gold, silver, Bitcoin, crypto, whatever, at least to educate people, so they can be like, okay, why am I feeling like this? Why is my money, like you highlighted, Joe, it's not going the way it used to go. I can't, still eating ramen. You know what I mean? It's just wrong. It's just wrong on so many levels. Okay. About 10 minutes, we're heading over to Joe's stream. So I appreciate you guys keeping that chat alive. Thank you so much. A lot of good conversations going on with regard to that. And you know what? I'm just going to bring this up because, yes, this is David's all over right here. All the coast lines were technology, trade, transport, banking. So the banking industry, that kind of thing, medical research. Exactly. And they still are. I mean, for the most part, right? I up in, because, again, I hailing from the New England area. I mean, basically Boston, the hub of that in that particular, or in this particular area. And there's nothing wrong with ramen. Yeah, listen, I get it, man. I did the whole, you eat crap to save money, buy a house, I get it, man. I get it. And BC, you know what? Vote with your dollar. Move to places that let you flourish. Buy from places that help your local community. I agree with that 1,000%. 1,000%. I look for the smaller mom and pops all the time before I go to like a Walmart or whatever national chain. And put off now to have later. That's the problem. And what, I mean, BC's highlighting it. We talked, I think that's kind of how we got toward the end of the conversation yesterday on Princess's stream was, this whole generation as a whole, again, I know painting that wide swath there, they don't understand delayed gratification. And I brought up my grandchildren, and again, they're, teenagers down to like, the 2-3-year-olds. It's like those teenagers, they just, I don't know. It's like something's broken their head. No matter how much you try to explain it to them, whatever, they don't understand that delayed gratification. They're part of the Uber Eats generation that gets, crap delivered to their door. It's just, damn. Anyway, Joe, first, save me from myself here, Joe.
Yeah, first it was our parents, and for like kind of my age group, which I mean you're in, but for me and for us, I guess we can say, we saw our parents with the house, with furniture, with the stereo system, with the TV and everything, so that, when we're in our 20s and we're getting, married or whatever, first thing we want to do is, we want to have a house with a TV and a stereo system and entertainment, and we want to have everything furnished because that's what we saw, so that's what we want. And that's how, like, my first wife was like, she wanted everything. It's like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
I don't have that much. I don't have money, period. Well, I had money, but not that type of money. It's like, we got to slowly. And then sure enough, her mom, she had like 3 dining room sets, 2 sets of couches. So, and that's how we got our stuff. And then, this next generation, these kids that are growing up now, they see that same thing, but now technology is there. And just like how you said with Uber Eats and everything else, everything's instant. And same thing with money. There's these females that are making bukus of money from the, certain things that they do online. And so now the whole Instagram thing where it's all instant gratification, they're on boats and yachts and everything else. And it's like, man, lucky to be you, because we're out here in the sun, working. So
and I love what Sonny's got here. Be the change you want to see in the world. I agree with that. BC saying take it a step further and live the change you want to see in the world. I I can appreciate that. And Jerome Powell's back. So much for sleep. And my
I told him not to go to sleep. Take a nap.
Yeah, listen, this better be a good speech. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, my son puts all his money in Bitcoin, drives an old shitty truck. Yeah, facts, man. Facts. That's how it, heaven forbid, how it should be. How it should be.
And that's what like for me personally, I'm living like dirt poor, and I don't want to sell my crypto because I know that that's gonna make it, you know, and this dollar's not gonna make it. So even if I did sell it, and sure, you know, now I'm eating steaks and everything else, well then, and then what? It's done, it's over. But with my crypto, like I have that chance of, you know, potentially, and the chances are great that it's gonna go up, you know.
Oh yeah.
Just like gold, silver, all that fun stuff. So
yeah, it's all about the timeline, and yeah, we love gold, silver here. We talk about it all the time. Love, my goodness, there goes my voice. Love to have Daniel Diaz on here when he's here. Hopefully, I can get him to come back for the 200th episode of Crypto on the Rocks. That's coming quick, guys. Coming quick.
I hope he does show up. I love that dude. That dude's awesome.
Yeah, he is. He's great. But with regard to gold, basically tickling those all-time highs now. This is where we're going to wrap up. Joe's going to take a quick look at the gold chart. Joe, if you're ready, I'm going to bring it up. Well, I got to get this off the screen first. There we go. All right, you're up.
All right. So this is gold, and gold has just been skyrocketing. So why is gold mooning? Well, glad you asked. So here we have gold, silver, oil market summary. So gold is, you know, all-time highs. It's just going crazy. Why? Well, what drives it? A weak a weak dollar. And we can see the dollar just getting weaker and weaker. No matter what's being done, it continues to get weak. Inflation concerns also drives gold. And as we know, they're trying to, you know, hold the inflation down, and it just keep on doing its thing.
Yep.
And, you know, then of course you have the inflation, then you have the job cuts or unemployment. So like all this plays into how to secure your finances. And again, the dollar, because it's weak and it continues to be weak, gold is one of the answers. Gold, Bitcoin, pretty much sound money, really. Strong central banks and ETFs demand. Then, of course, the trader sentiment is very bullish overall on gold due to the fact that the dollar is weak. And then, of course, here's some other information too. But to get to the gold chart, geez Louise, man.
I know, right?
You know, we had a nice little retrace. Then it broke our level. Then it kind of went sideways for a little bit. Then it broke our next level and just off to the races. This is when everything started popping off. This was October, about 2 years ago, where everything started taking off. So could this, you know, retrace? Sure. If we retrace, I don't think we'll come down this low, but if we retrace, I'm looking at potentially, let's kind of zoom in a little bit. We could see a pullback to around about 3,000. I mean, that's a fair number. You know, we can do 3,000 for the pullback, and that's around the 382 level. Do I think it's going to come down this much? It could. You know, for me personally, I would love to see it come down to the 0.5 on this fib level, which is 2765, so 2,765. That would be a really nice. However, because of the inflation, because of the weakening of the dollar, you know, could we see it come all the way down here? I mean, it's kind of hard to say. There does need to be a pullback at some point. It just depends on how much is going to go. But those are my levels that I'm looking at.
I don't know that it's going to be a huge pullback. I'll tell you that. I mean, and even more so after Army Piper. I don't know if you caught that toward the end of his. Wait, wrong button. I got rid of you, not your chart. There you go. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, where he was how they're looking the Fed looking to get back those gold certificates from the banks and then reissue at the current fair value, and then basically having the banks send in all that money. All right, BC. I know you're listening in. I think we need to do a hot of the line on that. Maybe bring in Omni Piper to talk about that. I'm just gonna throw that out there, my friend. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know, Joe, if that kind of thing happens. Listen, I know you got to go, and I'll wrap things up here. But anything you want to say before you head out?
Yeah, definitely. If you're on X, jump over to YouTube. You're going to be directed straight to me. We're going to talk Bitcoin. We're going to talk about your coins. We're going to talk about the potential dump that might happen, a potential fake out. So we'll see what happens. Of course, we do this every day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, Saturday and Sunday at 4. I basically show you how to kind of manage your risk and do not judge your results based off of other people's results. So because trading is very psychological. So if you see like all these people, posting these great results, we don't know how many trades they did that failed before they posted a good result. So just be very, very careful with that. I do thank you guys, and we will see you on my show in a few minutes.
All right. Thanks again, Joe. Yeah, Joe is here every Monday and Wednesday with me, 11 a.m. Eastern time. You guys know I appreciate him being here, taking the time to look at the charts. And I like this morning, I was like, dude, we need to look at gold. Can we do that? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I appreciate him very much. A couple of things I want to just hit on in the chat. Techman, I will ask, when I try to get him to come on for the 200th episode of Crypto on the Rocks. Duality C is in the house. Appreciate you being here. You're here just in time to get forwarded on over to Joe's stream. We're heading there in a couple of minutes. Let me just give you guys a wrap up as to where we are again with regard to the gold. I don't know. I was going to ask Joe if he was like really sad he didn't DCA into gold back when he said he was going to do it. And I know the answer is yes, obviously. But thank you, Crypto Billy. Appreciate you, man. But sometimes, people do that to me all the time. Oh, didn't you wish you got into Bitcoin back when you heard about it in 2011? Well, hell to the yeah, but here we are. So here we are. All right. So what's going on Crypto Coin Mindset channel for the rest of this week? I don't think I'm going to end up dropping a video tomorrow. I was trying to get another Boston blockchain video out tomorrow. I don't see that happening. I'm finishing the editing right now on the video that Sonny and I did with regard to blockchain. So that is scheduled to drop this coming Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right after Billy Goat Tales. And I will be posting today the Crypto on the Rocks for this Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you're here joining me for that. Like I said, steaming ahead toward the 200th episode. I really am looking forward to that. All right, that's going to do it. When we get over to Joe's stream, make sure you type CCM Raid in the chat. I appreciate everybody being here, as always. And I will see you guys Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time for Crypto on the Rocks. All right. Have a great rest of your week.